So I've coached many agents over the last couple years here, and I can say that the 90-10 rule definitely holds true. 10% will succeed, 90% will fail, and even within that 10%, I've noticed that people who would be successful no matter what team or brokerage they join. Now, the caveat to that is if they pick the right spot to start out at, that will expedite their career. So they will usually end up being successful, or I guess in theory, they would be successful faster if they initially make the right choice. But no matter what they do and where they go, they would be successful. So why are 90% failing and the other 10% successful basically no matter where they go? And I've boiled it down to one main reason, and within that main reason, there's like three sub-reasons. So there's an umbrella and then the three sub-reasons underneath that umbrella. I'm Connor Kelly, Vancouver realtor and team leader. I made this channel to help agents attract more clients via social media. I did 57 deals my first year in the industry, pretty much 100% off of social media. So I know a thing or two about social media and real estate. If you're into that, subscribe. I've seen so many agents that would be or have the potential to be extremely successful. They have star power. They have the look. They're charismatic. They speak well. They're smart. They literally have everything, but they're not successful. And then I've seen realtors that are completely opposite to that are monotone, that maybe don't have the look, that are whatever, and they have seen tons of success. Now, that being said, if you have all of the first things that I'm talking about, plus the thing that I'm about to talk about, you're going to see success a lot faster and it's going to be exponential. But that being said, the reason why you could have all of those things, the charisma, the looks, the whatever, and not see success is because you lack mindset, the proper mindset and perspective. This is the biggest thing in life, in business, in real estate, in everything. So the first reason why your mindset sucks is you're just viewing things on way too short of a timeline. I have agents on my team that are literally 22 years old that have gotten thousands of followers. They've done 15 deals in their career, and they're unhappy and they're thinking about leaving the business and quitting because the success isn't happening fast enough. And what I'm trying to make them understand is how amazing the results are. Even if you saw no results, the amount of work they put in and the skills that they've built in that time frame compounded over the next 10 years will be absolutely insane for them. Even for the agents on my team that have a couple thousand followers, imagine if you just kept doing exactly what you're doing right now. Saw completely linear growth, you didn't improve on your skills, you didn't improve on anything, literally nothing changed. You somehow showed up every day, stayed consistent, did this every single day, literally didn't get better at anything, which by the way is like pretty much impossible. After 10 years, you'd probably still have 15,000 followers on Instagram and 20,000 followers on TikTok. You'd have an audience of roughly 40,000 people if nothing else in your life changed. And you would only be 32 years old. I'm sure if you went up to 99% of people who were in their 30s and you were like, hey, how much happier right now would you be if you had 40,000 followers? Pretty much every single freaking person that you talk to would be like, oh man, that would make all the world a difference if I had that many people to market my service or my business or whatever to. And as a rule of thumb, content creators typically make across the industry, it's about 50 cents to $1 per follower per month. So if you have 30,000 followers, you should be making roughly anywhere from 15 to 30 grand a month from those followers based on, the service you're selling, whatever. You should be able to monetize that $15,000 to $30,000 per month. And that is the average across the industry. So I'm pretty sure most people at 32 years old would be happy making 15 grand a month just posting their service on social media. So who cares how long it's going to take? Because you can't lose if you just keep doing it. Every year the following grows. Every year the database grows. Every year you get better. The skills get better. Everything gets better every single year. And you can't lose if you just keep doing it. And people are like, there's that quote. It's like, people overestimate what they can do in a year and they underestimate what can happen in 10 years, right? It's insane how much life changes over 3 years. When you're super young in your early 20s, 3 years feels like a really long time, but the time's gonna pass anyways, right? Once you get into your later 20s, a year goes by like that. 2 years goes by like that. 3 years is like a decently long time, right? But what I'm trying to say is like the time is going to pass anyways. And if you don't stay consistent, if you don't adopt the mindset that like, I want to be in a better place in 5 years, the time is going to pass anyways. So you might as well be in a much better position, regardless of how much better it is, in 5 years. I didn't see exponential growth in my social media following or career or whatever until about 2.5 years in. And that was posting 2 to 5 times every single day. 29 now, have about 65,000 followers across all platforms, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever. And it's been very good to me, but understand that that's posting 2 to 5 videos a day for the last 2.5 years, which most people won't do. But I had the mindset where I don't care if this takes 5 years. I don't care if I don't see success on here until I'm 35 years old. Even though I saw success at 35, right? People these days, especially in business, will literally, like Charlie Munger just died in his 90s. Warren Buffett, I think, is in his 90s. Let's just say I don't see success on social media until I'm 35, right? I have another 50-year long career after that, right? I have another 50 years of making money and being in business. So who cares if it takes till 35? Who cares if it takes till 40, 45, even 50? You have so much time left, not to sound like Gary Vee, but just stop thinking so short term. Stop thinking about, oh, I need to close a deal in the next 3 weeks. And the second reason why agents fail is because they lack perspective. And they lack perspective because they don't understand what life is like for the majority of people. I was a plumber for 9 years. I would work 10 to 12 hours a day, plus 3 hours of unpaid travel. So I was out of the house 12 to 15 hours a day doing plumbing. Then I had on-call shifts, night shifts, and at the end of the, like when all is said and done, I was probably out of the house 80 to 100 hours a week doing that job. And then after all was said and done, I'd make about $3,200 after tax for 2 weeks worth of work. And keep in mind, that is really good money, right? Like that was $100,000 a year, right? After like the gross pay was like $100,000 a year, which in today is not great, but in 2019, before the value of our dollar got destroyed, it was a really good wage. And I'm doing this working in other people's piss and shit, right? I'm waking up out of bed at midnight and driving an hour and a half to downtown Vancouver to unplug a sewer line and get shit all over my clothes, lift heavy equipment out of my van, and problem solve, being dead tired with crippling heartburn. So I look at agents today, and you guys can't go out and shoot a freaking property tour video once a day for an hour. Literally, that's all you have to do. If you just did that every day for the next 5 years, you would probably be making, minimum 200, 250K a year plus. It's quite ridiculous. You can't call 30 people a day. It takes like an hour and a half, right? It's funny. It's like, I know a lot of realtors like literally working 3 hours a day making $100,000, but they're guilty and depressed and they're stressed and they're this and they're that because they're not actually putting in the work, right? That being said, real estate emotionally is way more difficult than plumbing ever was, right? I'm not trying to say this job is easy or anything like that, but like, dude, you can't, seriously, go shoot a property tour video once a day for 6 months and your life will be completely different. You guys haven't been exposed to how shitty an actual job is. And that's why you can't go out there and just do prospect for if you just did it for an hour every day, your life would be completely different so long as you're consistent with that for 3 to 6 months. Today, I get paid many multiples more than I ever made as a plumber, doing about an hour a day of shooting videos to prospect and follow up with my audience and etc. And that's where you want to be. But again, that didn't happen overnight. This has been now 2.5 years of never missing a post. Literally never missing a post. I will post at midnight if I have to. So you think this is hard? Try having a normal job for the next 40 years. And number 3, they just don't fully commit. They have a part-time job. They're running some other business. They are, if they want to shoot videos, they kind of do it half-assed with no real plan to execute, where they shoot a video whenever they feel like it, and it ends up being 4 videos some week and then 1 video the other week, and then sometimes they do a video every day for a week, and then it goes back to 2 videos a week. There's no real plan to actually execute. They sit down and they call 30 people once, and then they don't call again for 2 weeks, and then they'll call 50 people in 1 day, and then they don't call again for the next 4 days, or they randomly go out and door knock once a month somewhere. You can sell homes with literally any method of prospecting. you need to pick one, commit to it for a minimum of 3 months, and do it at a large enough volume, right? So if you're gonna call, let's just say 30 people, call 30 people a day, 5 days a week, every week for the next 3 months. And if you haven't closed any deals then or booked any appointments and you're not getting any results, that is probably enough volume to say, hey, calling doesn't work for me. If you're gonna do the videos, it's 1 video a day, every day for the next 3 months before you start ruling that out as a method of prospecting that doesn't work for you. If you're gonna door knock, it's door knocking every day, 5 days a week for the next 3 months before you can rule that out and say door knocking doesn't work for me, right? People aren't committing to a method of prospecting for long enough and doing it in a high enough volume to actually troubleshoot and eliminate that from their business, or find out it actually works and double down on it. Pick something, do it for 3 months, reassess. Subscribe, like, see you on the next one.